So this video is going to be like super raw, you guys. Like, I'm not going to edit any of it. I just finished a run, and I woke up this morning feeling a little sluggish. I've been feeling this lately. It's Leo season right now. It's the energy of the sun. It's our last chance to catch that full sun wisdom and download it into our minds and bodies and intentions, and light up your third chakra, Manipura, right here in your gut, your solar plexus, where you ignite your connection to self, your purpose, your understanding for who you are and what you want and what your purpose is. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately as we arrive into Leo season, not just because my birthday is in a week and I'm starting to have really honest conversations about being perimenopausal, my body shape changing, the things that I do to stay healthy that came so easy are starting to become a little bit more challenging, like getting up and indulging in a morning routine that I know is so beneficial, but there's this bit of resistance. And I think there's some wisdom behind that. This is the time of year to open up to longer days, challenge ourselves mentally and physically, and we're not really rooted into our routine like we should be normally. And with that, you see things in a different way and you challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone. So I was feeling that slug and took my dog for a walk and thought, if I just go for a run, everything will become clear. And just sat on the couch for a few minutes and got distracted by social media and could have made a choice to just stay and sit and tell myself, you need rest. Rest is best. And yes, rest is super important. I'm a big believer in recharging your battery, but I'm giving myself enough rest. So I just was like, okay, girl, just go for a walk. Get up, get off the couch, just go out. It's a beautiful morning. Get fresh air, clear your mind. Started off, got out the door, and I was like, well, let's just go for it. So I started running. Felt that sluggish energy take over a little bit. So kind of paced myself. A little run, a little walk, a little run, a little walk. Just keep going. Just keep going. And got to the park. Thought, okay, well, I can go around the park. And then all of a sudden, this just wisdom poured in. And I know right now, I'm on the brink of something big. It's going to happen sometime between now and probably the first of the year. I don't know what it will be. I don't know when it will happen, but there's been this big energy that I've been moving towards for a while, and I'll get to a point where I land somewhere and I think, okay, this is it. And then there's more learning opportunities, there's more experiences, there's more moments where I'm thinking, no, maybe this isn't it. And what I'm learning in that is it's so important to be present. I'm really grateful that through meditation or yoga or whatever age wisdom, I have become a lot more disciplined in my ability to be present. And I am really, really enjoying that in my life right now. I am surrounded by a very beautiful, powerful, intelligent group of women. But I'm also surrounded by a lot of thought leaders in the work I'm doing right now on the mat and off the mat. And I'm realizing I'm in this creative space where, very much like a yoga teacher, I'm holding space for someone to rise to their potential, to see what they have in themselves, to practice acceptance, to practice humility, to be happy. And those are things that don't come easy to us as humans. And off the mat, I'm thinking, I'm doing my yoga work with these really powerful entrepreneurs, business owners, thought leaders who have an amazing message to share, something to teach the world, to make a few people or a large group of people better, happier, more purposeful, intentional. And that's a special thing to be a part of. But when you're in a space where you're constantly around someone who knows who they are and what they want, and they're just trying to figure out the means to get their message out there, you're constantly challenging yourself to think about that. So I'm reflecting that back at myself, thinking, do I really know who I am? I finally figured that out. It took me 40 plus years. Do I really know what I want? And the wisdom came down while I was running. I know what I want. I've been moving towards it for a while. It's becoming more clear. I'm not 100% there, but I know that I want to be a part of people feeling well, balanced, happy, and fulfilled in their lives. And there's a lot of ways that you can go about doing that. I mean, at the end of the day, if someone were to ask me, what do you want to do if it didn't matter? I want to hold space for people to live their best lives. And I know that the best way I've been able to do that for most of my life is being a yoga teacher. I also know that I have a book in me. I've been writing and writing and writing my whole life. I have a lot of creative projects that I've been grateful to be a part of. And it's all moving towards this moment, this thing that's about to happen in my life, this shift. I don't even know if it's a shift, the arrival. I've gone through a lot of things. There's moments where I get stuck in regret, and then I have to shake my head and go, wait a minute, you wouldn't be here right now if you didn't go through those things. So don't regret them. Don't be embarrassed by them. Honor them as a badge of honor of being who you are and where you've arrived right now, walking around the city. Where will I be in a few months? Where will I be next year? I know the scenery is going to change. And here's what I'm going to share. Because again, I have no attachment. I really honestly don't know what's going to happen. Conversations are possibly flowing, but when I was a kid, I would draw a lot. I was very much into art, and I drew repetitively an island, palm tree, the ocean, fish, and the sun. Oh, always like tons of them. And then my mom the other day was going through some things, and she found a shirt that I had made. This was back in the 90s when you would do puffy paint, and there it was, the drawing. Palm tree on an island, ocean, in puffy paint, and it said, hot days are cool. And I had that epiphany, like, this is what I want. I've always dreamed of living on the beach, and then you get a little bit older, and people tell you, unless you're this, that, or the other, or have this, it can't happen. So part of you gives up on that dream a little bit and just says, well, let me just practice being humble with what I have, grateful for what I have. And maybe one day if that happens, great. Well, I think it's going to happen. And that excites me, and it reminds me to have dreams. Don't be attached. It's okay to have goals, but don't create expectations. So I share this in that I want to encourage you guys to realize that this is the time of year right now, Leo season, before we move into about mid-September, to get the last of the pitta energy out of the world around you and into you. Fire and water, transformation. Download it. And one of the other things that I learned a lot from some of these other thought leaders that I'm really also grateful to be surrounded by is their wisdom came to them in moments when they were present, when they were in their own space, when they were still, when they were silent. It's not in those moments where you're constantly doing and talking and thinking and processing, and yeah, you get these really cool moments where you're sharing ideas with other people and you're reflecting and things are, all that information is coming into you though. But to know what your truth is and to know what you're really meant to say or do comes in that moment when you sit still and you process and you accept and you assimilate and you learn. So I had that moment happen to me today unexpectedly, and it was in a moment where I was in a moving meditation. I was very aware that my body physically was moving, but my mind was still. It was powerful. So we'll see what happens. And I know I have a lot more to do in this world, and I hope that me sharing this message inspires you to find what you're meant to do in this world and just go out there and live your best life. On or off the yoga mat. If there's anything I can do to support your journey, let me know. Thanks, you guys.